Okay, hi there everyone. My name is Richard Livingston and I am the site administrator for Religion Online. And today I'm going to walk you through the steps to upload a new article for the website. And there's a few things that you want to do before you actually log in and start working on the new post itself on the website. And so the first thing that you want to so my recommendation would be to take care of as much before you actually start creating your new post or article on the website. Do as much as you can before to save yourself some time. Now, the assumption is that the content that you're going to be uploading is something that's been previously published somewhere. At least the vast majority, if not everything that's on Religion Online now, was previously published. So what we want to do is replicate how the article appears in the original publication. So if it was printed in a journal or published in a chapter in a book, we want to replicate that as much as we can. We want this to be as close, as faithful to the original as possible. That's the ultimate goal. And so I'm going to use an example to show you what that looks like, but the goal will be for you to, once it's published, it will show up when you click on the list of all the articles on the site, and immediately after you publish it, or at least shortly after you publish it, it will appear here in this list at the top of the list. So on the home page of the website, it always lists the most recent articles that have been posted. And so when I click on Articles Now, what's displayed, everything's displayed in alphabetical order. And so if I click on this piece right here by Brueggemann, what you see are all the things that you need to be prepared to enter when you create the new article. So obviously the title, the author. This here is the source information. Now every article is supposed to have as detailed source information, as much information as we can about where this was originally published. And so you want to make sure and have that handy before you get started with your new article. Then there's a summary, which is basically a short abstract about the piece. This one is only a couple of sentences long if you want to make it 3 or 4, or ideally, if it already has an abstract, you can just copy and paste that original abstract. And then we have the content of the article itself. And as I scroll down here through this, you can see most of it's pretty straightforward, but then we get to stuff like this, these passages from the biblical text. And then we scroll down a little bit further, we see some more passages, this one from Psalms, and some more here from another passage in the book of Hosea. So you can see the formatting here is not quite the same throughout. Ideally, as I said, we want this to look like the original appears, however it appears. And so what we're going to want to do is copy from whatever the original source is. The example that I'm going to use is the American Journal of Philosophy and Theology, or Theology and Philosophy, I forget the name of it. So the American Journal of Theology and Philosophy. And it's an article by Charles Hartshorne. And we're just going to use this as an example for you to see how it works. Now, this is probably the longest. The thing that takes the most time with articles is that it's not a straightforward, really easy way to just copy and paste from the original PDF right into your post or your article on the Religion Online website. We use WordPress, so it's not, you can't just copy and paste from the PDF file into your new WordPress article or article in WordPress, and it won't capture all of the formatting that's part of this, because if we look at this article, you can see some text is italicized, and then as we scroll down, we get a poem here by Richard Hovey, and all of this, as I said, we want it to appear as much to the extent that we can. We want it to be replicated in the online post or online article on Religion Online. So you could just start scrolling down through this and copy it all and then paste it into, say, a Word document, or you could just directly highlight page after page and copy that and then paste it into the article on Religion Online. My suggestion would be to open this. This is a PDF. My suggestion would be to open this in Microsoft Word. And that's what I'm going to do right here. The latest version of Word does a pretty good job of importing PDFs. So I'm going to click open here, and this is the same PDF file. It's opening it now. You can see down at the bottom it says converting, and I scroll down through, and this starts to look pretty good. It's not perfect. You can see that's a little bit messed up over there. But as I scroll down through the text, it looks a lot better than what I would get if I just copied and pasted directly from Adobe Acrobat to the website. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just copy and paste, or sorry, I want to just extract the portion of this that I need. So I want to get rid of everything else and save this as a separate file. So I'm coming down to the beginning of the article. I'm going to copy and select everything back up to the top of the original file, and I just hit my delete key. So I just highlighted and went back up to the beginning of the file and got rid of the rest, so that now this file begins with what I want. Then I'm going to scroll down, and you can see here there's already a little bit of a problem, because this is where the page break is, and I'm just going to hit delete to bring up that page. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the article, which is right here on 114, and there's the next article. I don't want anything else, so I'm going to highlight everything to the end of the file and delete that. So now all I have here in this file is just the text from the original article. So I'm going to save this as a Word document. So I hit Save As, and I want to save this. Where should I should put this in the original folder, I guess, where the file was stored. And so now it's in a Word format. That's something that WordPress WordPress can use. So now I come over here to the Religion Online website, and I'm going to log in. So my recommendation would be to keep one tab open with the regular website, and then I've got another tab where I'm actually going to log in. This is my little password program here, LastPass, and so I'm just going to put my username and password in like you're going to do, and once you log in, you will see all of the options for creating a new post or editing existing posts. You've got two ways to create a new article. You can go up here and drag your mouse over the new option and then click on article, or you can go over here to the right and click on articles. You can either view all the articles or add a new one. If you click on all articles, you will see all of the articles that have been posted on the website, but because you aren't the creator of them, you can just view them and not edit them. If you're an editor, then you would have the privileges to click on these and edit them. But what we want to do is add a new one. So you can add a new one here, add new there, or use the link up top. I'm just going to click on this button or that link for add new. And then we're just going to work our way down the page to see all of the options, or to enter all of the options. The title is obviously going to be the original title. Now, if I copy and paste this, it's probably going to be in all caps. So I'm going to just try it and see what happens. And that's right, it is in all caps. So what I want to do is I'm going to re-enter that, so it's just the first letter of the words that's capitalized. And then you'll see it automatically creates what's going to be the new link, article/redefining God. And then I want to put in the content. There's a couple of different ways to do this. I can highlight everything that's here and then copy and paste. Or there is, if you scroll down to the bottom of all the options, you'll see this here, Mammoth DocX Converter. So as I said, you can do it either way. Highlight, copy and paste, and then you're going to have to clean up. Or you can come down to this Mammoth DocX Converter. I have pretty good luck with this. It's not going to be perfect, but it does pretty well. So what I'm going to do here is come to where I've got the article stored in my right here, and I go ahead and once I've got it selected, I go ahead and click Insert into the editor. We'll come up and see what it looks like. It looks pretty. Let's just scroll up. That was pretty quick, actually. So I scroll up and I see, oh, right there already, there's some formatting that I'm going to have to clean up, but I scroll up and it's looking pretty good. Keep scrolling, 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 and I can see already right at the top there's some formatting to clean up. But it's probably better than I would have gotten if I just copied and pasted. Either way, that's something that you can decide and you can play with on your own, but now what you need to do is, I've got the original PDF over here, and what I want to do, as I said, is clean it up so that it looks like it. So that's what's going to take the work. I'm only going to do a little bit. I'm not going to go through this whole file, but I need to get rid of this text at the top because we only want the text. And then in the original, we've got the drop cap, the large F here, so that's sort of hanging by itself right now. But if I come down in the text and I just hit backspace there, that looks okay. And then what I want to do is just go down through this and look at everything that's italicized or perhaps bold. Look, I've got a little extra bold right there. It shouldn't be, and so I want to actually turn that off. And so you just want to work your way slowly down through the article and see, as I said, what should be modified. Once we get down here to the, let me back up. We would like to preserve the page numbering if we can. Now we can't do page numbers in an HTML file or a web page. But what we can do is indicate where the page breaks in the original were. So here, in this sentence, the technical terms of Thomism are above all those of self-dependence, immutability, simplicity, and then immateriality. What I want to do is find that same spot in my new article, and then let me make sure I stated summarily as the paragraph that I'm looking for. There it is. Okay. And here's the break right here, the technical terms of Thomism above all. So what I want to do to indicate that page is put that number, 108, page 108, right there in square brackets. And I'm going to put a space after that and hit delete to bring that paragraph up next to it. Now, if we want to get really technical, then we may and really replicate what's in the original. I suppose we could just leave that as is, so that is right there. But I think this is probably better, just to at least have the page number there, so we can see where the page break is, and then scroll down to see where 109 page breaks. A wholly definite plan must lack the very character by which the concept of purpose has its meaning. And we come down here to this latter question as the paragraph. And I think this was something that that page that I deleted earlier. Let me see. A wholly definite plan has its meaning. A wholly definite plan has its must lack the very character by which the concept of purpose has its meaning. All right, it's right before has its meaning is where our page break is. So I'm going to put 109. Okay, I'm not going to do every page here, but you get the point. You need to insert your page numbers wherever they appear in the article. Then as I scroll down here to this one's a little bit more challenging because we've got this this poem that is italicized and indented, and here it's italicized, but it's not indented, and so I want each line to be right next to each other like it is here. And the way that you do that, you go ahead and remove the spacing before the poem, and then in order to make sure that it enters down to the next line, you have to hold down the Shift key and press Enter. If you push Enter, it makes a new paragraph. If you do Shift Enter, it'll go directly to the next line. It'll force a return to the next line. And that's what I want to do for this When the Worlds Have Passed the Right. So I'm going to hit Shift Enter again. Give a Cheer should be the next one. And then here's To a Dark Tomorrow. I get rid of that line and then hit Shift Enter. Richard Hovey is actually on a separate line by itself, so I'm going to leave that right there. But I need this all indented, and so I'm going to highlight all of this text. Don't go down to that separate line, but just this line right here. And then right here is Increase Indent. So use your mouse and just click on this once. I'm going to go twice. And I think that looks good enough with 2. And Richard Hovey, there's a few different ways to do this. This needs to be in its own separate paragraph, and so that's what I'm going to do, is put it in its own separate paragraph right here. Oops. So I'm going to increase the indent of this all by itself. And I keep hitting this increase indent until I move over to approximately where it is in the original, something like that. That might be, yeah, that's probably good enough. And then I'm going to get rid of this extra line right here. Then that's probably about as good as you can hope for. So you're going to work your way through the entire document until it looks exactly the way you want it to. Clean up any text, fix any bold, italics, add in any formatting. And when you're done and you feel like that looks pretty good, then you can look over here to the right, and we need to put in some of the final extra information. First and foremost, you have to select a publication category. What this is referring to, I'm going to switch back here in my tab. What this category is referring to is on the website here, you've got all these options: categories, categories, articles, books, authors, and so on. When you click on categories, you see all of these main categories. That is what appears here under publication categories. And so you need to decide which one would make the most sense for your article, for the content of your article. For me, there's probably a couple of categories that would work. I know for sure this is Hartshorne, and so this is going to fit well under process theology. So I'm going to scroll down here to process theology and select that. But if there are a couple of other categories that work, go ahead and select. You can select more than one category. Okay, but I'm just going to choose one for now, and then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the article so I can enter in the last few items of information. There probably will be, it's not showing up now, but there should be tags showing up here. So you have categories. This is sort of a large category, and then tags. So the tag would basically refer to something more specific to this particular article. And so you might, this article discusses the primordial and consequent nature of God. So maybe you could put in primordial nature of God as a tag and consequent nature of God as a tag. And that would be the difference between the larger category that we use to organize all of the items on the site and something that's more specific to this particular piece. So there will be, when you do this, you will see an option for tags here, and I would recommend putting in one or at least one or two tags to indicate what the article, get a little more granular about what the article, the topic of the, with what the topic is discussed, or the article is discussing. Now, you have to enter in the author, and I'm going to go ahead. What you want to do when you enter in your author name is type in the full last name. And for me, I'm going to do Hartshorn. There he is. Okay. So I put in the last name, and I can go ahead and select Charles Hartshorn. And then I could select more authors if there are multiple authors. Now, one of the things that I didn't mention is that you do need to make sure if you begin putting this in fact, before we even began doing this, it probably would have been good to check to make sure whether or not the author is already in the system. And to do that, you can do it a couple of different ways. But on the main website, if you just click on authors, it will bring up a list of the authors. Or in the in WordPress, you can come here and look at the list of all the authors to see if they show up here on the back end. So either way, what you want to do is determine whether the author is there. So if I click H, scroll down, and I'm going to see Charles Hartshorn. Okay, and like I said, you could do it here. Now, if there is no author, or sorry, if the author that you are, if you're trying to enter an article and the author is not in the system, then you need to do that. So this is something that actually needed to do first before, needed to check before we created the article. But if you need to add a new author, you just do it the same way that you add a new article. You just drag your mouse over here or up here and click on Add New. And it's very straightforward here. You're going to put in the author's full name. So if this is like John Q. Doe, if that's somebody, and then John Doe here. And then what you want to do is type in a bio of some kind. You need some kind of description. You know, it's the standard stuff, the places where they currently teach or where they have taught or the books that they've authored. Whatever you want to include here, put it in for the bio, because you really do need all three of these fields, the first name, last name, and then the bio. By the way, the reason we put this first name and last name in separate is because that helps us so that we can sort their names on the site a little bit better. And then once you've got those those things, the title, the name, and the bio information, you can go ahead and just click Publish. And then the author will be in the system. I'm not going to publish this one, but that's how you do that. Once you've got the authors you want, and I've got Hartshorn here in my article, then what we want to do is put in the source information. Now, the source information is basically the information about where did this thing come from. And so I'm going to scroll over here, and I noticed that at the beginning of this article, there is some source information originally published in the New Humanist in August 1934. So I'm going to copy and paste that, and originally published in the New Humanist. But then I'm going to put the information about the American Journal. Then what I want to do is probably put reprinted with permission, or I don't want to put it exactly like that, because then that makes it sound like we're reprinted here with here on the Religion Online with permission of the American Human Association. What I would probably do is reprinted in the American Journal of Theology and Philosophy, and then, you know, volume, issue, and so on. Okay, I'm not going to worry about those specifics right now. So reprinted in the American Journal of Philosophy and Theology, put in the volume and issue number with permission, and so on. That gives us, I think, all the source information that we need. And last but not least, then there is a summary or abstract. I apologize that my screen is being a little strange here. I really am not sure why the browser is doing that. But the summary is basically your abstract. And so you can copy and paste from the article itself. This one doesn't have one. Or you can enter in, enter in your own summary, whatever you want to put here. For now, I just need I need some text so that I have some summary, summary in here. So I'm just going to copy and paste the first paragraph from the article. And so that's just the first paragraph. But again, this should be an actual summary. Now, what you want to do is before you publish, make sure you save it and then preview first. Make sure it looks good to you and you've double checked that it does appear as it should in relationship to the original. So I click on preview, and I apologize, I just have a little bit of a slow internet connection. But when I click on preview, I should, okay, so I see all of the pieces. There's my title, there's the author information, there's that source information I just entered in, and there's the summary or abstract, and then I get the whole article itself. And this is what we just spent a little time cleaning up. There it is. So you scroll down, make sure it looks okay, again, in relation to the original. And if you like the way everything looks, then you can go ahead and just close out this window, come back into the edit article, and click publish. Now I'm going to do this now and then probably just remove it because I want you to see what this looks like, because when you click publish, what's going to happen is that it will then be listed in a couple of different places. One, here on the home page, because it will be the most recently posted article, and two, when you click on articles, it should be listed. So I'm going to click publish. And if everything is done correctly, if this works right, then that's all you need to do is click publish, and you can pretty much just walk away. But you'll probably want to double check to make sure that it was actually published. Oh, okay. Now you can either click on this link here in the original itself. This will take you to the article that's published, and when I click on that, I will wait for that, and I can see that in its published form it looks exactly the way that it did when we previewed it. That looks good. And if I want to see on the home page, does it show up on the home page? I'm going to refresh the home page, and it should show up as the most recent article, and there it is. I click the plus sign, I can see Hartshorn. Here's also where that summary shows up. So this is where this is the second place it's going to appear, so that people can see what the article's about. If I click on more, read more, then it's going to take me to the article itself. So that's about it. The only other thing that I want you to be aware of is that if you need to put in images or links into a given article, let me show you really quickly how to do that. To add an image, if let's say I wanted to add an image, I click on Add Media, and then I'm going to click Upload, either upload from your computer or insert from a URL. So if you know if it's on another website and you want to insert an image from another website, you can put the URL right here. So you either use this Add Media to upload a new image, or use an image from an already existing website. As far as adding links, I just want to remind you of one important thing. When you add a link, if you need to link to a page that's not on our website, you're just going to highlight, let's just say that this was our text that we want to link. You highlight what you want and then click Insert, Edit Link, and you're going to paste in your URL, wherever that might be. I'm going to, let's just say that it's https://www.google.com, just for the sake of having something, and I'm going to click on the link options. Now, this is what's important. You want to click on Open Link in New Tab. Anytime we add a link to a page that's not on the Religion Online website, you want it to open up in a new tab, not in the tab that the person is currently viewing. At least that's just the standard that we have on our site, so that when possible, we want links that go away from our website to open up in a separate tab. Once I have that, link looks good, that's the text that I want, I click Update, and you'll see that my link is there. And then I can go ahead and click Update here, and the page will be updated. All right, I believe that's all that you need to know. If you run into problems along the way, I'm happy to help where I can. Again, my email is richard@religion-online.org. It's richard@religion-online.org. Let me know if you need any help, but if not, good luck, and I look forward to seeing the content that you help provide.